The Pathetic Diabetic.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Pathetic Diabetic. Back for episode 6. I had quit the podcast. I was done with it. After I saw, I guess it's been almost a month since I did the last podcast, and there was a little discouraged because, like I said, there's been less and less people watching or listening to the episode each week, and it's become a problem for my self-esteem. So it took me a little while, and it was, like I said, I'm a quitter, so I quit the podcast. I canceled my own podcast, and then I figured, like, well, Ryan, that's the only thing you had going for yourself was the podcast, so why'd you cancel that one thing? And I thought about it more, and even if there's only 10 or 12 views per podcast with your 34 subscribers, it doesn't make much sense, but let's keep doing it, and maybe it's gonna catch on. I'm just trying to basically just trying not to kill my cat, and before I move out, find a place, and also not kill myself. So yeah, it's been a while. Lots of stuff has happened in my life because I'm a very busy guy. And I met a girl. I met a girl, and she we met on this dating site, Hinge. It's I think it's done by Facebook. But anyways, Hinge is so I met her, and she I didn't meet her. I lied to you. Shut up, Ruby. So we were talking on Hinge, and then she's like, "Oh, this is going well because you're so amazing at texting, and you're so funny and silly, And like, yeah, thank you. And she might have said that, I don't know, or I might be making that up for you. And then she's like, "Here, I'm going to give you my real phone number." That means like you've been upgraded. Once you get someone's phone number, on a dating site, that means like you've been upgraded to like level 2. You're almost in line to actually see, it's the next step in line of maybe meeting a person and seeing if they're not a robot or one of those bot things. And shut up, Ruby. And, so I got her phone number, and I told her I do stand up, and then she said, like, "Do you have any videos?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." They're from 10 years ago because I haven't, had a videotape of me recently, and they're blurry, so it kind of looks like me. So yeah, let me send that to you. It's probably not relevant either. So I sent her the video, and she laughed. She liked it, she said. And then I realized that it was linked on my YouTube to this podcast. So, which means she was probably watched the podcast, and then guess what happened next? She ghosted me. I did not hear back from her at all. So that's good. Probably, I'd say things a little bit too revealing on this show, and it's gonna hurt me sometimes, and especially in the dating world. No one wants to hear that. Especially a podcast called The Pathetic Diabetic. No one wants to go on a date for that. So that's good. She did not, text me anymore. She did not respond to my cries out for help, and just wanting to be loved. So that's where we're at, and it's good. So I need to maybe not have my stand-up videos on the same place that my podcast about being a sad sap is on. So yeah, I'm happy about that, and I have to say that also I met another girl who went out on went on a little coffee date with her, just simple get a coffee, no strings attached. Doesn't mean not a big deal. Just an Americano, just a couple Americanos, and a nice chat. And she had also watched my videos, and she got upset with the she's like, I don't think you should be making fun of Kathleen Turner. I'm like, Kathleen Turner's, lucky people are even saying her name anymore. So I don't see a problem with that. And I wasn't making fun of her. And she's like, you made fun of her weight. I'm like, no, I didn't make fun of her weight. I made fun of her because she's turned into a monster. And if you can't see that, then that's on you. Okay. Like I'm trying to help this lady out. I'm sure if she'd gone to her doctor, she went into her doctor, and I doubt her doctor's going to be like, your head is ballooned 5 times the size of what it normally was. And that's okay. That's natural, I guess, through the progression of life, your skull and your skin to basically explode. And, you've gained 45 pounds. Yeah, this all looks good. This all looks good. Really good job. Good job doing this. And keep it up. An excellent bill of health. No, not at all. They're going to say something is wrong with you. And please, please start, I don't know if jogging, or you can use the elliptical, or like stay off the Baker Square pies. I don't know what you're doing, but, it's... I don't want to have to talk about her again, Kathleen Turner, and but this girl wanted me to, and I did. So that's where we're at. And this fucking cat, gonna kill and murder this fucking cat, just whining all the fucking time. I'm so sick of it. It's just me and him locked in this fucking room, 24/7, and it's domestic disputes going on. I'm surprised the neighbors haven't called the cops, because we've gotten some tussles, and it hasn't been pretty. All right. I feel like it's one of those situations when a cop's going to show up, and I'm going to be like, typical episode of Cops, where, I'm in a wife beater holding a can of natty ice. And I'm like, she hit me first. All right. That's what. And, Ruby just don't know when to shut up. When your cat just will not shut the fuck up, you got to lay a hand to it. So, and there he goes yelling again. So that's good. And I'm going to go have to take care of this. We need to break up. Basically, I need to break up with my cat. And we need to go our separate ways, I hope it finds another family. But sometimes, just like relationships with your, guys or girls, doesn't work out. Sometimes you need to break up with your tabby cat. Yeah. Time to give him the pink slip. Or her. Actually, it's a her. I never know, like, people get so offended when you say their pets is, that's a she. Why you keep calling it he? Well, because I can't tell the difference. Can you tell the difference between a he or a she dog or cat? I can't. So, even on my cat, I call it he, she. I switches. Is it pronouns? Is that what you say? It switches all the time. So some days it's a he, some days it's a she, sometimes it's a he, she. I don't, who cares? Pets aren't going to get offended if you call them the wrong pronoun. So I don't know why we should care. If your dog Lucy, I say it's a he. I don't. Just take it easy, So yeah, things been going good for me. Things been going really well. I had a big day. Hung out with one of my friends, one of my childhood friends. We ended up, we were trying to find a place to get coffee. And even with COVID going on now, especially in this city, everything's still locked down and closed. That, oh yeah, you can get you can purchase food or drink here, but you can't sit here, come near us, use our bathroom. You can't enjoy your beverage or your food item. Take it to go. And we're in Chicago, and it was like 30 degrees today, so it's take a hike, buddy. Give us your money and get the fuck out of here. That's what it is. So we're like walking around freezing, and then the only place that was actually had indoor seating open, McDonald's, of course. McDonald's, place that already doesn't care about your health, is open. Indoor seating. So, you already don't care, the food that's going into your body. Why would you worry about maybe, a virus entering your body? Okay. So, we went to McDonald's, and I haven't been to McDonald's in like 12 years. And it's the same old shit. Nothing's going to change. McDonald's, he got a McChicken, and it was basically looked like a chicken nugget on a bun, and half the bun was missing. So the quality of their food is still up to par, really up to par. And he's like, I haven't had McDonald's in a while. I wonder how it's going to make my body feel. Oh, I'm sure pretty great. I'm sure it's going to go. I'm sure your body is going to be like, hey, thanks for that. This is going well. It's really going to energize you that you put all of that sugar and fat in you. And maybe you're going to want to lift some weights or go for a jog after this. No, he said he had to run home because he had explosive diarrhea. So, and which actually, excited me. Maybe I should be eating McDonald's because, as you might know, that I have Crohn's disease and the gastroparesis. Like, I constantly am going to the bathroom or need to go. I'm not going to the bathroom. I constantly need to go to the bathroom. And when I do go to the bathroom, it's just a little at a time. So I'm going, 35 times a day. So if McDonald's can make me be able to go to the bathroom or have explosive diarrhea, I'm down for it. Sounds good to me. Sign me up. I'll be in there every day ordering a McChicken sandwich with that half a bun and, this size of a nugget and, give me a Big Mac and some fries. If it cuts 20 years off my life, that's fine too. Okay? As long as we can get this stuff that I put into my body out of my body. So there's that. So having a good time today, anytime of course at McDonald's, the best part about McDonald's, is the playland, and jump in the big ball pit and stuff. Probably if you ever wanted to get COVID, is jump into a ball pit, COVID or, covered in kids' urine or, who knows what's at the bottom of that ball pit in the McDonald playland. It's probably, polio. You probably got polio down there because that thing's never been cleaned in like probably 100 years. So it's a good time at the McDonald's. I was actually thinking about getting some McDonald's, and then when his skin started to turn gray, my friend, I was like, maybe rain check on that. So I'm getting ready, hopefully, to move out soon. I know I've been saying that for all 6 podcasts. And one of these days, hopefully, if you say it enough, it will come true. But so far, that's no. I was trying to think about what bed to get, what to upgrade, this from this daybed, this childhood daybed to, I don't know what the next step up from childhood daybed is. Is that is it a twin bed? Is it futon? Is it hammock? Not sure. I wanted to maybe even get, back in the day they had waterbeds. I don't know if you know about waterbeds, but what a good idea. Waterbed, do you want that feeling of being sick at sea on a boat all day? Do you want that while you're asleep at night? Yeah, let's do that. Let's make a waterbed. The hardest part about waterbed is that you couldn't move on it. As soon as you move, one little ripple in the water, the whole bed starts moving like a wave pool. And if you're sleeping, if you're married, you're sleeping with, you have a partner or your loved one or your dog or, someone you kidnapped or whatever, like you have them on the bed too. They're any little thing, any little move you do, they're also moving. You're basically, if you move on a waterbed, they also move. So it's like synchronized swimming, but you're synchronized sleeping and moving around. That's kind of, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. And once you hop in a waterbed, good luck getting out. The first waterbed I got into, you got to be careful. I jumped right in the middle of the waterbed, and I couldn't get out. They called the Coast Guard. They had to throw me a life raft. It was a hard time getting out of it. It's I didn't think I was gonna make it. I almost drowned, and you got to be careful. You got to kind of jiggle your way to the end of the waterbed. So. But I think it'd be cool to have a waterbed again, just, for old time's sake, But I got this cat, if we don't break up, I'm sure he would jump on it and put a claw on it. And then, all my hopes and dreams would go away if they haven't already gone away. I would slowly sink to the bottom of the waterbed, and then the water would slowly flood my apartment. So it's probably why they don't do water beds anymore, because they're made of water. And guess what? Water's not good for your back, it turns out. Having a bed that's made from water, you don't have good back support, and so that's probably how people ended up hunchback in the beginning, sleeping on a waterbed. Man, oh man, this podcast is going well. This is the one that's gonna bolt me to the top of the charts. The big dance thing I've been seeing now going on is shuffle dance. I don't know, the shuffle dance music going around. Like I even saw on my YouTube, played one of these videos. It's like shuffle dancing from around the world, and it's 24/7, and it's just a bunch of dumb kids moving their feet barely off the ground, left and right, twirling, no like choreography, none of that. No, like they'll slide their left foot to one side, and then there's not a slide from the right foot at all. It's just like boop 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 boop, and it looks like they're doing like a million different things when they're just barely lifting their foot off the ground and doing anything at all. So that's what we're having, and that's the new dance craze. And you know why it's the new dance craze? Because it's doing practically nothing. Anybody can do it. So you think you're real cool? They have this 24/7 around the world shuffle dancing. You look like a moron, okay? Look like a moron, because back in the day, we had real dancing called break dancing, all right? And what you had to do is you had to go find a cardboard box somewhere, and, that's not easy to do. Unless you're near like a move, someone's just about to move out in a U-Haul or something, and you take the cardboard box and you flatten it, and then you get down on that thing, you play some rap music or some kind of funk thing, and then you're doing real dance moves. I mean, you're putting work in. It's tiring, break dancing. You're popping and locking. You're spinning on the cardboard. You're twisting. You're doing you're playing peekaboo, cover your face with your hands, and then you pop it open. Surprise, I'm still here, and I'm breakdancing still, fool. Now that was real dancing, not the shuffle dance shit. Like barely lifting your foot off the ground. Can we be more lazy, just in general, about everything? That even barely moving your foot off the ground to a song is a craze. Everyone loves it. Oh my God, this is so amazing. I'm not down with it. I haven't tried it either. I think I'm still too lazy to even try that. Like back in the day though, I used to break dance like a fool. No, I didn't. I'm lying about that too. I didn't do any dancing. I'm not a good dancer. Not a good dancer at all. It's not that I'm not coordinated. I'm just not. I don't like to look like a moron. I'm white. I'm a white male. And, you dress. I wear boat shoes and Dockers. I should not be out there dancing. probably have a sweater around my waist. I'm not going to be a good dancer. No one's going to want to dance with me either. Basically, they're not going to want to step up and say, yeah, let's get down with this guy. Yeah, let's get down with him. The one who's been drinking 4 wine coolers. He looks like fun. Let's go party with him at this wedding reception. Yeah. Fun guy, right? You know what a cool thing my dad used to do when I was a young lad? A young lad by the age of like 3 to 5 years old. My dad, my parents broke up when I was like 4 months old. Which was a cool thing. My mom, to do the breakup with my dad. Hey, like we just have this newborn baby and take a hike. So I don't want him. Let's. I want to make sure he, has his whole life to live without a father. So let's go ahead and break up right now, which was real cool. And so my dad wasn't really around that much. Surprise. And so I'd see him on weekends every once in a while. So my dad kind of like wasn't, have to worry about being too much of a father, which is really cool. And he kind of did his own thing even when we hung out. And nowadays, like, parents have iPads or they have Netflix, they put on movies for their kids and stuff. But my dad, back then, all we had was movie theaters or TV, and it was like he's gonna watch what he wants to watch. We used to go to movies, and my dad took me some very sketch movies. I remember seeing this movie called 10 to Midnight. I think it was with Charles Bronson. Basically, it's a horror movie, in case you're wondering. Basically, it was this guy who ran around naked, stabbing women in the chest. Yeah. He would break into sorority houses, just stabbing girls left and right. Full nudity too. There was full nudity. I was like, 3-4 years old watching this. Blood squirting out everywhere. Full nudity. Girls getting stabbed in the shower. The guy's naked. He's running in the street with a knife in the air, chasing women. So, little boy Rye had a good night's sleep. He slept well after seeing something like that. I also saw like one of the Amityville Horror. I think it was like 2 or something when I was really young. And I remember it was like this incest scene, like with his brother's hooking up with his sister, and also nudity, and then full just people being murdered and killed, and evil spirits, and me looking up at the screen and wondering like, I guess I am never gonna sleep again. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I am never gonna sleep again. This is great. Yeah. Let me just close my eyes and rest it on a pillow, and all I see is blood and murder. So, gonna keep them open along with the lights on in the room. But I'll have the covers hidden over my head, fearing I'm about to get stabbed or killed at any second. So, thanks, Dad. As long as my dad had a good time, at the movies. As long as he enjoyed it, he got, his fill of popcorn and murder. That's what matters most. So that's a real cool thing Dad did. It was real, and like and anytime I felt like every time I tried to watch TV, he would just have on, Murder, She Wrote, or 60 Minutes, which for a kid is the last thing you ever want to watch. Even as an adult, those are the worst things. 60 Minutes is the worst show I think I've ever seen in my life. The people that are on 60 Minutes, like the anchors or the broadcast, what do they call them? The interviewers, those journalists, whatever they are, they only hire people who are on the verge of dying. So, please don't, if you want this job, please at least be around 85 years old. Um, have more wrinkles than Father Time. And we'll listen to your journalism, and you tell us what you think is hip and cool stories at the end of the week on CBS. And then they'll act like they're smarter and more clever than everybody else. And what does that equal to? A horrible show. Even in the beginning, like the beginning is always still the same. They'll show that. They'll have like the 60-second ticker going, and they'll go, I'm Rhonda Bernstein. And someone else goes like, I'm Jack Williams. And I'm blah, blah, on this 60 minutes. And then you like, by this time that beginning intro is over, it's already felt like an hour. So you're like, oh, is this the show? Is it over already? Oh, that's just the beginning. Okay, that intro, sped up intro that you tried to do, that felt even long. So that's basically how I spent my weekends at my dad's. So he's a real cool guy. He knows how to raise a young boy. Even just having him 2 days once a month is he's doing the cool things every kid wants to do. My dad also used to I love Velveeta. Like, that's not a joke. Velveeta basically, it's not real cheese. It's like pasteurized prepared cheese product, I think is the fancy, chef lingo. But it's basically government cheese. And my dad used to put Velveeta in everything. I remember he'd put it on our burgers, obviously. He'd put it in our spaghetti. Like, he'd put a giant chunk of Velveeta in our spaghetti, which is probably a little white trash, but who knows? In our mac and cheese, everything got a splash of Velveeta. You know what I mean? Like, it got to the point. I mean, it could be what gave me diabetes. We don't know at this point. There's a lot of questionable things that were entering my body, especially when I was young. And I'm just talking about food. And having, a diet, half of your diet or the food you're eating be cheese goo, probably not good. Probably not good. But I remember, like, ever since I grew up that way, every time I saw Velveeta in the store and I saw it was on sale, I'd have to buy it. I would get like excited. Like, I would tell like a random stranger, just to let you know, Velveeta, it's on sale. Yeah. $5.99 a pound. Only $5.99 a pound. I know. I'm trying to whisper it to you because I don't want a mad rush to aisle 7 over there. So, you look like a cool guy, so I thought I'd tell you. And, what I also like about Velveeta is they only sell it, in that giant block side, basically. It's like, it's enough to, feed a village, basically. But being single, I would still want to get it, and I've had the same box or block of Velveeta in the back of my refrigerator since 1998. So, like, I like to take it out every once in a while and I gnaw on it like a beaver. And then sometimes I'll sleep with it underneath my pillow, and so I wake up in the middle of the night and have a little bit of snack. Because it's like, there's no expiration date on Velveeta. The expiration is question mark, question mark, question mark. It's, they don't even know. You tell us. Does this ever go bad? And that's a sign of a really good food product is, that it never expires. So that means probably also when it enters your body, it also never leaves your body too. I probably still have 30 years of Velveeta that's stuck in my intestine somewhere, just sitting, just hanging out. Maybe that's basically how I got Crohn's disease. You know what I mean? Like, it's just years of eating Velveeta, because when you heat it up, it turns to that liquid gold, they call it. Yeah, liquid gold. Liquid gold. And that liquid gold, it goes through my intestines and it just turns to liquid cement. So then that's basically what gave me Crohn's. It went into my body like hot liquid goo, and then it turned into, goo cement, and it blocked up my intestines and colon. So thanks, Velveeta. So that's probably how I got Crohn's. But if that is how I got it, I had enough good times with Velveeta to let that pass and say that it was worth the trip. And I'd do it again. Because it doesn't get, they never like promote Velveeta like they should promote it more. They should be like, Pizza Hut's always stuffing cheese in every single part of their pizza. They should be like, yeah, we have crust stuffed with cheese, but they should say crust stuffed with Velveeta, because then I'd be first one in line to get that. Like, tell me what kind of cheese. Velveeta, yes. Yes, and please. I'll be there all day. I love that. Oh, man. Right now, I'm just thinking about going in my refrigerator and just, breaking off a chunk, and just, rubbing it on my teeth and face, like a classy fella would do. Yeah. And being that I have Crohn's disease too, like if anybody out there has irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease, definitely get yourself a bidet. Cause I did. See what I did there? And I because you'll save on toilet paper, but you'll also save on your asshole, because you have Crohn's disease, you go in the bathroom like 70 times a day. That means you're using a lot of toilet paper and doing a lot of wiping, and then the next thing you're like your butthole looks like Hamburger Helper, and you don't want that kind of look. It's not good for humans, or anything that looks like Hamburger Helper. Even Hamburger Helper is not good look. There's never been a Hamburger Helper like dish where you looked at it and like, what is this? Wow, impressive. How did you put this dish together? Maybe you should sprinkle some feta cheese around that, and some parsley, and maybe a little squirt of lemon, and maybe a balsamic glaze drizzle over the top to really make that pop. Because that looks like, what is that? Beef stroganoff. I would have never guessed this slop on my plate was that. Yeah, it's not a good look. So the bidet, I have to tell you, like the bidets are cheap now. When they first came out on the market, I don't know what year. Let's just make up a year. Bidets first came out in 1962 by Jimbo Jones. It's the first thing I thought. We'll just say Jimbo Jones. Jimbo Jones, he came out with the first bidet in 62. And, probably had Crohn's disease, or, just didn't like, maybe it's just lazy, didn't like, or have toilet paper, wipe his butt. But, came up with like, how about we just, this water that's in the toilet, we find a way to like have a squirt gun just shoot us right in the butt, down there while you're at it. We got all that water going down there. Let's like squirt it into our butt too. Let's find a way. So that's what happened. And, the guy's a billionaire. And actually that guy's last name was Bidet, because that's how things work. So it's Jimbo Bidet. That's what his name was, Jimbo Bidet. And Jimbo Bidet. It's fun to say. And that all rhymed. And Jimbo Bidet. It's hard to say. He like, what a great invention, because I'll tell you what, I never had a bidet before I bought one, and then I installed it, and it was only like $20. I had like a Groupon or a Living Social coupon, or, like something in the back of the Sunday Saver, and it was like, hey, bidets half off. And I bought it, and I didn't really know how it worked, and I read the instructions, and I'm stupid, and so it took me about 3 days to install. And once I got it on, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know, trust this to work. This is just gonna know how to do what it needs to do. And so I went to the bathroom, and then I turned on the bidet, and guess what? No lie, bullseye, direct target. Like, it direct spot, like, hit me perfectly. Knew like where my butt was. Like, it knew where, like, it knew where the fun comes out, and it hit a bullseye, direct hit. Like a battleship. Game of Battleship B4. Direct hit. You sunk my battleship. This like sunk my asshole, like, with water. Drowned it out, and it was cold water because it's not heat activated, and it's like, not only does it like clean you off, but it works like a cup of coffee. That'll get you going. Like, you squirt cold water into your butt, it's going to straighten you up a little bit. You're gonna be at attention, and you're gonna be it'll wake you up. It'll it'll wipe, like, wipe you clean, and also, like, it's better than caffeine. Get you going, and it's the best thing yet. I don't know how they did it, or how they knew where my butt would be on the seat to know that, because I feel like everyone's, it's a different spot for everyone. But ever since then, it's been the best thing to come into my life. Besides a girlfriend or someone loving me, it's the bidet has been the best thing to come into my life. And it's like, sometimes sometimes I won't even shower for a week, and I'll just bidet it up. I won't even have to go to the bathroom. I'll just, like, I'm a little tired today, I don't want to shower. I'll just go in there, and I'll do a back bidet, and then I'll do a front bidet. I'll, like, lean into the toilet on my front side, and I'll just bidet my front privates, and then I'll bidet my back privates, and then, like, you just a little dab of a towel, and you're fresh and clean as a daisy. It's good to go. So, that's what I'm saying. If you want a bidet, you're going to save on toilet paper. You're going to save also on water in general. You're going to save on shower time. All right? I mean, sometimes if you want to, just stick your head in the toilet, and you can, like, you shampoo your head, stick that in the toilet, and wash it out. That water's clean, or it comes from the same place, right? Yeah, just wash your head off in there, and then squirt your bidet on your front and back privates, and you're good to go. That probably just took 2 minutes out of your life. All right? And you didn't even have to take off your clothes. Just put your pants down to your ankles, and that's it. And you're back out there shuffle dancing, because that's what you want to do. Get out back there in your front driveway and shuffle dance away. Okay? Shuffle dance it up. Show off for the neighbors. Show off for your mom and dad. I'm sure they're giving scholarships at private schools, and, like, I got a scholarship to Stanford from my shuffle dance moves. All right, I went a 1-2 left right. I did a shuffle back, a shuffle forward, and then I side shuffled. And Stanford's like, we're paying for your college tuition, so congrats. And the person would be like, oh, thank you so much. And then Stanford would be like, no, thank you for what you provided. Amazing. So yeah, that would be pretty cool. So bottom line is, get a bidet. You want to get the bidet. And even if you don't, even if you don't have Crohn's or any kind of bowel problems, a bidet will make your day. I sound like that, that rhymed. I didn't know that. It's like, should be a slogan. Bidet will make your day. But it works. Who knows? If I get, up to 20 views on one of these podcasts, I might get a bidet to sponsor me, and then I can throw a slogan in like that. So I would love that. I would love to have a bidet. If they also send me another one, I'll double up the bidets. I'll have 2 bidets on one toilet. Just fire it up in there. All right. I like to do things to the max. Let's double bidet it up in there. Huh? Yeah. That'd be a great idea. I'm full of great ideas. This is definitely the best podcast I've ever done. my brain is just on fire. I'm just thinking on the top of my head, I'm thinking on the top of my game. See how good I am at that. I'm doing well, and we're having good fun here. Let's keep. They say don't have a potty mouth or don't talk too much about poo poo or caca unless it's all you know. And that's right now. That's all I know. And so let's keep talking about it. And I'll share a little revealing story to you right now, so I can have another girl that I plan on meeting up see my podcast and ghost me. So let's do that again right now with this disgraceful story from the pathetic diabetic. So I've never what's it called? I never liked to go number two in public. Caca poo poo in public, number two, because I was always afraid and fearful of it. Obviously because a million people's butts have been on it or whatnot. But it's actually a traumatized story happened to me when I was young. There used to be a store called Zayre. I always called it Zayres, but I think it's Zayre. Zayre. And it was in Florida, and it was like Kmart. It was like arch rivals with Kmart. And if you're arch rivals with Kmart and you fall the way and go out of business, probably a shithole, because Kmart's a shithole. Okay, so if you can't even compete with Kmart, what are you doing? So they dropped out, but that's where I shopped. That's where my mom took me because that's all we knew. We always made the wrong decisions in our family, like choose VHS or Betamax. We chose Betamax, of course, because we're stupid. We thought those was going to be the big winners. All the money's in on that, and everyone was like, no, it's VHS. You wasted all your money, spent $1,200 buying a Betamax machine. So we did that too with the department stores. We chose theirs, and we decided to get all of our things from there. And this one time when I was a young boy, I was around 6 or 7. Maybe let's make it a little earlier so the story doesn't, embarrass me too much. Let's say 5. So little boy Rye is 5 years old, and I was at Zayre, shopping for all those discounted prices, and getting a Slurpee because they sold Slurpees back there in the day, and so I got a nice red lips face, and I'm giddy from all the sugar because I didn't have the beaties yet, and I'm going all around. And then I'm like, oh, I have to go, number 2, the poo poo thing, and so I go to the bathroom, and my mom's like, I gotta go, Mom, and she's like, okay, just go in there and then come right out, because she knew I'm like, yeah, it's not like an amusement park in there. I think I will go in there and come out. I'm not going to, try to splash my hands in the faucet or the toilet, or try to put my head under the blow dryer for 25 minutes because it's fun. No, and plus it smells like urine and poop. So I'm like, of course not. So I go in there. And I don't, because I was a stupid little boy. You don't think about things. I didn't look down at the toilet before I sat down. So I just plopped down to go to the bathroom, and I felt something wet on the toilet. And I instantly went, oh no. What is this? And it didn't feel wet like pee. It felt kind of creamy, and it felt like it was all sides of my butt and part of my leg. And so I hopped up instantly, and I looked down at the toilet, and someone had smeared poop all along the toilet seat, almost like they were frosting a cake. Like they went to the food cafe in there, and they got a plastic fork or plastic knife, and they took the poop on the side of the toilet, and then they spread it like frosting on the toilet seat as a prank for a dumb idiot kid like me to sit in. And guess what? It worked, because I sat right in it. And then guess what I did? I screamed like a little schoolgirl, and I ran out to where Mommy was, with my pants still at my ankles, with my little ween bean hanging out, and poop all over my back and my butt, screaming like, Mom, been pooped. And and I was like, I can't. And she's like, what's going on? She sees me, and she thinks I did that to myself. And I'm like, of course not. My poop doesn't come out that way. It doesn't come out, you know, on your back. So, you know, I told her what happened, and she couldn't believe it. And she basically, took me in there, and she tried to wash me off in the faucet and with paper towels, and you couldn't really, I guess, work that well, because what happened was we had to pick up my brother who was in Cub Scouts. So you learned how to become a man or whatever they're doing there, or tie a knot to, or like learn how to start a fire without a fire. Who knows what's going on with Cub Scouts? I don't know why in Cub Scouts, like, you had to learn things that were basic survival modes when you're a kid, because basic survival modes, like, hey, we're going to put you in the woods alone for a night, and you learn how to make a fire and learn how to tie 3 different knots and survive. How about I just eat some Apple Jacks and go play some basketball with my friends? What are we doing here? Oh, also wear this yellow handkerchief around your neck, so you will get punched and beaten up by other kids in school. Okay, that sounds great. So we picked up my brother from Cub Scouts, and I was in the back seat, and for some reason I was sitting on like paper towels, or towels from paper towels from the bathroom, and I'm like butt naked still, and I'm just sitting on these paper towels in the back seat, and my brother gets in the front passenger side, and he looks back at me, doesn't say anything, and then he looks at my mom, and he's like, what happened to Ryan? And my mom goes, he sat in poop. And then my brother just looked out the window and didn't say anything. So I still to this day don't know if that wasn't like, maybe he did it before, and that's like he was reminiscing and like, yep, been there, rough one. Or he didn't care, or he didn't want, me stealing his thunder because he got a new patch put on his Cub Scout uniform for like, um, best canoe rowing, patch, or his you know best or greatest job at you know making a soapbox car, or like I don't know what to do in Cub Scouts. Okay, I got kicked out of Cub Scouts. All right, that's what happened. I that's why I'm angry at Cub Scouts. I'd signed up. Oh, I didn't sign up. I don't know how it works. It's not like the armed services. You don't like go up and sign. They try to recruit you. Like, it's basically, I think you go in the Cub Scouts because your parents just want a fucking night off from you. Once a week. So get in the Cub Scout and try to learn to be a man, or not be such a little piece of shit. And hopefully you learn something about manners, and you learn something about how to, have a Red Dawn situation in case one day Russia overtakes us, and you're left alone, and your parents have been murdered or killed, and now you have to survive by yourself, and with a little yellow dainty handkerchief around your neck, and tight little blue shorts. So figure it out, little guy. So like, I got into Cub Scouts, and I was there for about a month, and I was basically fired. That might be the first thing I was fired from ever. You're not supposed to really be fired from that, but I was basically fired, let go. My parents should have realized at that time, this kid's not gonna amount to much, because even something that you volunteer for has let him go. Please, we do not want your services anymore. No thanks. No more Scout services from this one. So, what I did was, like, they basically want you in Cub Scouts to learn things, and as we know, I don't like to do that. I don't like to learn things, and I don't like to be told what to do or say. And they tried to say, like, hey, you got to go read up on this, or try to get somebody. I was the only, and get these patches. I was the only Cub Scout, maybe in the history of Cub Scouts, to not have one patch on their uniform. It just was a blue shirt I was wearing. I looked like a CTA bus driver. That's what I did. Like, I just looked like the world's youngest CTA bus driver. Just a plain blue shirt, never any satchels or patches on there at all. And a month in, and the we want to do ours. I didn't do our assignments for the week that we had to do whatever they were because I can't remember. But what he would do is when we met up with our din leader, is he would have the other kids do push-ups because of my lack of doing the homework that they gave us. And he thought I would be upset or feel guilt for making these other kids do push-ups. And guess what? I did not. I was just happy and laughing at these kids trying to do their knuckle push-ups right here in their silly yellow handkerchiefs. Okay. He thought I was going to take off my yellow handkerchief and dab my eyes, for tears because I felt bad for these kids. I'm like, kick some rocks, kids. All right. Not only did you have to learn how go home and learn how to defeather a chicken, but you also now have to do knuckle push-ups. And I get to sit here in the corner and eat popcorn or whatever veggie platter and dip he put out for that night. So yeah, so after a month, the din leader got together with my parents, and he's basically said like, "Yeah, your son sucks. He is not doing." Some people would say much. I'm gonna say anything. I mean, look at him. He's got no patches, no desires, no interests. And all the other kids hate him and have bloody knuckles from doing push-ups. And then he said, we're going to have to let your son go. So please take him home and never take him back here. Because we think he is an asshole. And my parents were like, well, yeah, I mean, that's why we didn't want him at home. That's why we were dropping him off with you, because we knew that, he's a little jerk off. We were hoping just that you would not notice it for a little longer. Yeah. So that's a good story. That's good fun. It's a little more inside to my world, get a little poop on my body and also like get kicked out of Cub Scouts. So it's good stuff. And I used to another fun thing is I used to be like, there used to be this place called Old Country Buffet. I don't know if they still have them anymore, but I don't know what they came with the name. But me being a little kid, a little hillbilly who's like, half of his body is made out of Velveeta consumption. Like, I'm a little bit white trash, and Old Country Buffet's got white trash food in there. Southern country hillbilly food. Sign me up. A whole buffet of it. That's what Old Country Buffet was. It was just basically like Southern comfort food done, at a very below mediocre level, and for $7.99 for the dinner. I think the lunch was $4.99 if I remember correctly, because I would go there every week. I went to Old Country Buffet every week because it's really good quality food, guys, for a great deal. No, because I was, I have the palate of my mouth. I have a palate of, a fourth grade kid who grew up in Georgia. So like, I'm not, there's not. I think I have about 4 taste buds on my tongue. You don't need to worry about all the other ones are dull or just been, covered and hardened with Velveeta, so they don't work anymore. So Old Country Buffet, the first time I ate there, I was kind of like, I couldn't believe, like corn pudding, mac and cheese. What? Grilled cheese and mac and cheese in the same night they had there. I mean, even a place that serves grilled cheese for dinner, I didn't even know that was really allowed, like in a restaurant. So that was pretty cool. And they had, and that's not even getting to desserts. Because I mean, this was before I had diabetes too. Soft serve ice cream that you get to function yourself, like no one even watches or judges you. That's another thing about Old Country Buffet and most buffets. Forget the judging is not done at buffets, especially Old Country Buffet. No one's going to judge you for going up for plate 12 of, you know, going up for plate 12 of pizza rolls and bread pudding. No one's going to judge that, okay? No one's going to say anything about you licking your plate after you just had biscuits and gravy, licking the rest of the sausage gravy off the plate with your tongue. No one's going to judge you there, okay? Everyone's in shame land. That's basically what it is. It's shame land, and you're in there and you're just trying to eat as much food as possible without throwing up, which usually doesn't work because the whole parking lot was covered in vomit. So that's the thing about what's cool about America is when you say all you can eat at a place, people take that as a challenge. They're like, oh yeah, all you can eat, huh? Okay. It's not even like for expensive price, $7.99. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you all fucking I can eat. You better believe that. I'm getting every ounce of that $7.99. Yeah. And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna eat so much that I'm gonna projectile vomit in the parking lot. Okay? Just to prove my point. And then I might even circle back in and get another plate to fill that empty spot where in my stomach where I just threw up. Okay? That's the American way. In Old Country Buffet, I got so bad with it. Like, the one thing I wouldn't do at Old Country Buffet that I'm still proud of myself to this day is I wouldn't go in there by myself. I had to at least look like, I was either on a date or I had a friend to go with. I didn't want to look like a complete, loser going into Old Country Buffet by myself, sitting at a plate with 20 plates of food. It's not a good look. But if you're with one other person, at least you can say, hey, we're both here. Okay? So you can't judge us as bad. At least I found somebody else to go down the shame spiral with me. Okay? So that's what would happen. And so I would have to recruit people because I would go every week, honestly, sometimes 2-3 times a week. And I knew the menu every night by heart. And I would try to recruit people by telling them what's on the menu, what's in the silver tins tonight at Old Country Buffet. So I'd tell my buddy, like on Sean, it's like, hey, do you want to get something to eat? Like I would slow play it. I wouldn't tell him, where, because I wanted to get him like hooked on just like he's in to go out to eat, bury the lead is what I was saying. I don't want to tell him where. So I bury the lead, and then like he's like, yeah, well, I'll get something. Let's go and go. Oh, he's like, how about we go to somewhere nice like Perkins, or we could go to IHOP, somewhere nice. And I'm like, yeah, those are nice. They do have, they're probably gonna be a wait there and stuff too, 2-hour, 3-hour wait. But they are nice. But what about Old Country Buffet? And like, oh, we just went there last week. I'm like, hold on, okay. Tonight is Texas barbecue night, okay? All right. They have pork ribs. They have pulled pork, cornbread. Huh? Who's kidding who? Cornbread. Not only they have cornbread, but right next to it, cornbread stuffing. And cornbread stuffing is they just take cornbread and then they just stab it with a fork, and then and punch it with their fists, and then they throw it. I think they add a little sage, and that's called cornbread stuffing. And they have cornbread stuffing in there, and they have tater tots stuffed with Velveeta. And for dessert, they have brownie sundaes. So we could go to your IHOP and get a stack of pancakes, or we can live like we're in Austin, Texas tonight. Okay? And have our own little town barbecue in our bellies. And I was a good salesman. I also used to be a server for years, so I was good at enticing people and using adjectives like you would use to get people to go, the food is like it's hot and it's edible, and like, things like that. It goes down easy. So that usually got him on board. And yeah, so I would do that. I went to Old Country Buffet for Thanksgiving, like I think 2 years in a row. I got my brother to go. It was almost an addiction I had. I had an Old Country Buffet addiction just to that buffet. Like, and then I got my brother hooked on it, and he was he was the same thing. But I mean, once I got him hooked and he liked it, he was also angry at me. He's like, God damn it, why would you get me into this food, this fucking slop food shit? Like, why? Now I'm stuck in this world, and it's not good. I can't get out. I need help. We need to have like an AA meeting for Old Country Buffet. You know, um, you know, OCBA, Old Country Buffet Anonymous, class. And we have to stand up and tell our stories. Like, you know, Ryan, what was the worst thing you did, um, or experience you had at Old Country Buffet? And then I have to say, one time I dragged my sister there and I lied to her and I told her they were having prime rib night, and there was a guy that had a professional chef there that was carving prime rib there that night. And also they had, truffled potatoes, and it was a lie. It was actually peanut butter and jelly and jello with Cool Whip night. And I'm sorry. And I lied to her. I betrayed um, our siblings' trust. And thank you for sharing, Ryan. Thank you. I know that was hard for you, but if you need to cry into my shoulder, we're glad you shared this embarrassing story with us, and we hope that this stops you from ever going there again. And I think they closed down because I stopped going there. No, I think they closed down. I stopped giving them business, so they closed down. I think they closed down because people realized that the food is not good. So that's probably the reason. The last day I actually went there was, I had one of those like kind of like looking at yourself from the outside moments when I saw this guy next to me at the salad bar part, because you got to start out with the salad at the Old Country Buffet at the salad bar, like with put a little lettuce on there and some croutons and bacon bits and like some like maybe some shredded carrot things, because you want to give the illusion that you actually give a shit about your health. Start off with something light. Maybe I'll put a couple, 3 or 4 cucumbers on my salad, make it look like, and I'll use like, I'll have a ranch dressing, but I'll also put a vinaigrette on there, an Italian vinaigrette that sounds like it's a little more healthy. Like I'm cleansing the palate before I destroy it with shitty pizza bagels and, corn dogs. So that's what you do. And I was getting salad, and there was this guy next to me who had multiple holes in his shirt. And shaky hands. I thought his shaky hands was his anticipation of eating this great meal, and he's just hungry. That was not the case. And he kept trying to put salad on his plate, and kept falling off because he was holding the plate at he was holding it almost completely downward in a vertical angle that of course the salad's not going to stay on the plate, you idiot. He's like not holding it horizontal, and he was getting so angry he kept trying to put the salad on and didn't understand why it wasn't sticking to the plate. And he was shaking, and then he started saying, this place, someone put a hole in my plate. Like, someone put a hole in your shirt. I mean, multiple holes, but I don't think there's a hole in the plate, buddy. I think you are insane. And then I thought to myself, are people looking at me like I'm insane? Because this is my 4th time in here this week, and I basically probably should own stock in this restaurant because I've been here so many times. Maybe people are looking at me like I'm crazy too. So what I did was I put back my plastic plate, back in the container or wherever thingy, and I slowly, wiped my hands clean, and I backed out of there, and I haven't been back. And I think I'm a better man for it now, and I'm glad I was able to say I got over that addiction, because that is not easy. And I don't think that, that's when I realized that addictions are real. You know, you know, like crack addictions, cigarette addictions, heroin addictions, and also shitty food buffet addictions. They're all real things, and we need to honor them as real and get these people help. So if anybody needs help with any kind of, I feel like if anybody's addicted to any kind of Chinese buffet or any kind of any buffet in general, please, feel free to reach out. I can help you. And I think we're gonna wrap it up with that, because once again I've been talking so long. I just looked up and we're at like an hour, it looks like. So good times. I just want to say too, like some people are saying that it didn't know when they're subscribed to my channel, but they didn't know that news on YouTube, didn't know that new episodes are coming up. But next to the subscribe button on YouTube, there's like a little bell, and you can click on that. So that'll give you notifications and ding when there's new content on there. Okay, so if you could do that. And also, I know I am on Spotify, and I think I'm on iTunes soon. Takes a little while. And Stitcher. So if please, that's great if you listen to that. But if you can watch it on YouTube, I throw in a lot of other things to try to help, pictures and such. And so please do that. Please subscribe. Obviously, subscribe doesn't mean you have to watch, because people aren't doing that. So I put a lot of time and effort into this because I have a lot of time on my hands. And I appreciate everybody who's listening and watching. And everybody have a good night. This is till next time on the Pathetic Diabetic. Bye.